Assalamu alaikum, fourth graders. Today we are going to introduce lesson 1, which is how are animals classified. We are going to read a text together about how are animals classified. Then we are going to answer some questions. Okay, let's read together this paragraph about how are animals classified. Animals can be classified according to many ways. They can be classified according to their body structure or the way they reproduce. Some animals lay eggs while others give birth. Some animals have backbone surrounding their spinal cord, while others do not have backbones. On the other hand, some animals, such as birds, fish, amphibians, and reptiles, reproduce by laying eggs, while mammals reproduce by giving birth. First of all, if we come to the word classified, classified means to be divided into groups. For example, if you have some books and you have to classify them, you are going to put the Arabic books alone, the English books alone, the math books alone. This way is going to help you to be organized. Scientists classify animals according to many ways, but today we are going to concentrate on two ways: the body structure and the way the animals reproduce. Some animals, as we know, lay eggs, others give birth. Mammals give birth, while birds, fish, amphibians, and reptiles lay eggs. Birds, as you know, they are covered with feathers and they can fly. Fish are covered with scales and they can swim. They live in the water. Amphibians, like the frog, they are covered with a smooth skin and they can live on both land and water. Reptiles are covered with hard scales like the crocodiles, the alligators, and the turtles. Now, the other way we are going to talk about is the body structure. As we know, some animals have the backbone, which are the group of bones in their back, and others don't have backbones. For example, the lion has backbone, while the worm or the bee don't have backbones. Worms and bees don't have backbones. Now we are going to move to the questions about this paragraph. The first question we want to answer: pick out from the above paragraph how are animals classified. I want you to be careful for the action verb pick out. When I ask you with this action verb, this means that you have to get your answer from the paragraph. Okay, so pick out means you have to get the answer from the paragraph. How are animals classified? If we return back to the previous paragraph, we will find that our animals are classified according to their body structure or the way they reproduce. The second question is identify how mammals and reptiles are different. Mammals, as we mentioned, like the lions, the cows, the horses. Reptiles, like the snakes, the alligators, the crocodiles. So here we have to identify how they are different. Simply, we have to mention that mammals reproduce by giving birth, while reptiles reproduce by laying eggs. We are going to move to the third question or another activity, which is the warm-up activity for our lesson, how are animals classified. You have to observe the following document. As you notice here, I have the illustration of a dog and a worm. The dog is standing upright and the worm cannot stand upright. If you notice, the dog has something that the worm doesn't have, which is the vertebral column or the skeleton. If we want to answer this question, what allows the dog to stand upright? That's true, it's the vertebral column or the skeleton. So The vertebral column or the skeleton allows the dog to stand upright. If we ask ourselves why, or is the worm able to stand upright, we have to justify to say why. Whether yes or no, we have to justify our answer. As you notice in the following figure, the worm is not able to stand upright because it doesn't have a vertebral column or a skeleton. So again, we will repeat the job of the vertebral column or the skeleton. It helps the animals to stand upright, as you notice in the illustration of the dog, while the worm cannot stand upright because it doesn't have a vertebral column.